A dealer offers you the same car in two different ways. You can buy it for about $616 per month, or you can lease it for only $425 per month. The lease looks cheaper because it saves you almost $200 every month, but the monthly payment reveals only what leaves your bank account today. It does not show how much you will spend over several years, what fees may appear later, or what you will own when the payments end. So let us compare both options over the same 6-year period and look at the complete financial result.
When you finance a car, you borrow money to purchase it. Part of each payment reduces the loan balance while the rest covers interest and financing costs. As the balance falls, your ownership in the car grows. When the final payment is made, the vehicle belongs to you. You can keep driving it, sell it, trade it, or modify it. A lease works differently. You are paying to use the vehicle for a limited period, often around 3 years. Unless you buy it at the end, the payments do not lead to ownership. You normally return the car and either walk away or begin another lease. The lease payment is largely based on how much value the car is expected to lose while you use it. Suppose the car has a negotiated value of $32,000, and the leasing company expects it to be worth $19,000 after 3 years. That estimated future value is called the residual value. The difference between today's adjusted price and that future value helps determine the depreciation portion of the lease. The payment may also include a rent charge, taxes, and fees. This is why the lease payment can be lower. The buyer is paying toward ownership of the entire car. The person leasing is mainly paying for the portion of the car's value used during the lease. That lower payment can help monthly cash flow, but it does not automatically create the lowered long-term cost.
One of the first questions at a dealership may be, what monthly payment are you comfortable with? That question sounds helpful, but it directs your attention toward the easiest number to manipulate. A payment can be reduced by extending the loan, increasing the amount due at signing, lowering the annual mileage allowance, or moving costs elsewhere in the contract. Imagine a lease advertised at $399 per month with $4,000 due at signing. That $4,000 is still part of the cost. Spread across a 36-month lease, it adds more than $111 per month. The effective cost is therefore closer to $510 per month before possible return charges. The same issue appears with buying. A 7-year loan may create a lower payment than a 5-year loan, but you remain in debt longer and may pay more interest. You also face a greater risk of owing more than the car is worth during the early years. So do not compare only the payments. Compare the cash required upfront, the total payments, the fees, the time period, and the value remaining at the end.
Now let's do a 6-year comparison. Assume you're considering a new car with a negotiated price of $32,000. After taxes, registration, and required fees, assume the total purchase price becomes $34,500. You make a $3,000 down payment and finance the remaining $31,500 at 6.5% for 5 years. The monthly payment would be approximately $616. After 60 payments, you would have paid about $36,980 to the lender. Add the $3,000 down payment, and your total purchase payments become approximately $39,980. But that is not the final cost, because you still own the car. Assume it is worth $14,000 after 6 years. Subtract that remaining value from the amount paid. $39,980 minus $14,000 equals $25,980. Now add $2,000 for repairs and maintenance that someone driving consecutive new or leased vehicles might avoid. The estimated 6-year net cost of buying becomes $27,980. Now consider the lease. Assume it requires $2,500 upfront and 36 monthly payments of $425. The first 3-year lease costs $17,800. But our comparison lasts 6 years, so you still need a car. Assume you begin a second lease under the same terms. Another $17,800 brings the cost of 2 leases to $35,600. Add a $400 return fee at the end, and the estimated 6-year lease cost becomes $36,000. At the end of the comparison, you do not own a vehicle. Under these assumptions, buying costs about $27,980 after accounting for repairs and the car's remaining value. Leasing costs about $36,000. Buying is ahead by roughly $8,000. The lease produced the lower monthly payment, but the purchase produced the lower 6-year cost. That happened because the buyer kept the car long enough to pay off the loan and retain its remaining value.
This example does not prove that buying always wins. Suppose the purchased car is worth only $10,000 after 6 years instead of $14,000. Then suppose the owner spends $4,000 on repairs. The calculation becomes $39,980 paid plus $4,000 in repairs minus the remaining $10,000 value. The buyer's net cost becomes $33,980. Buying would still be slightly cheaper than the $36,000 leasing scenario, but the advantage would shrink to about $2,000. A major repair, poor resale value, or unusually strong lease incentive could change the winner. The lease payment in our example was also $191 lower than the loan payment. A disciplined person could save, invest, or use that difference to pay down expensive debt. That would offset part of the higher lease cost, but the difference does not continue forever. After month 60, the buyer's loan payment ends. The person leasing still has another year of payments in our 6-year comparison. So do not give leasing credit for money that will simply disappear into extra spending. And do not give buying credit for years without a payment if you already know you will trade the car before those years arrive. Your behavior can matter as much as the contract.
Let's talk about the risk and restrictions involved. Leases usually limit how many miles you can drive. Suppose your agreement allows 12,000 miles per year. Over 3 years, that gives you 36,000 miles. But your commute changes, and you return the car with 42,000 miles. You are 6,000 miles over the limit. At 25 cents per mile, the additional charge would be $1,500. A car owner does not receive an excess mileage bill, but high mileage still reduces the vehicle's resale or trade-in value. The cost simply appears differently. The lessee may receive a direct charge. The owner may receive less money when selling the car. A lease may also charge for damage considered beyond normal wear, such as damaged wheels, heavily worn tires, cracked glass, dents, or missing equipment. Other possible costs include an acquisition fee at the beginning, a disposition fee when the car is returned, and potentially large charges for ending the contract early. Buying gives you more freedom, but it creates different risks. The car may need repairs after the warranty ends. Its resale value may fall faster than expected. And if you finance for a long period but trade the vehicle too early, you may owe more than it is worth. That difference is called negative equity. If the unpaid balance is added to your next loan, you begin paying for a new car while still carrying debt from the old one. Buying works best when you actually keep what you buy.
And now, this is how you compare a real offer. Before visiting the dealership, choose a realistic time period. Do you expect to need the vehicle for 3 years, 6 years, or 10 years? Use the same period for both options. For the purchase offer, collect the negotiated price, complete out-the-door price, down payment, amount financed, APR, loan term, finance charge, total payments, optional add-ons, expected repairs, and estimated resale value. For the lease offer, collect the negotiated price, adjusted capitalized cost, residual value, rent charge or money factor, amount due at signing, total scheduled payments,
mileage allowance, excess mileage rate, return fee, wear standards, end of lease purchase price, and early termination terms. Also request insurance quotes for both choices. Then calculate total cash paid plus expected additional costs minus the value of any asset you still own at the end. That calculation gives you a much clearer answer than the monthly payment. Leasing may be reasonable when you drive predictable miles, prefer a newer car every few years, value warranty coverage, and knowingly accept an ongoing payment. Buying is usually stronger when you plan to keep the car long after the loan ends, can handle future repairs, and want freedom from mileage and contract restrictions. A dealership can show you what the car costs each month. Only the complete math can show you what the decision costs your financial life. If this video helped you look beyond the monthly payment, subscribe to the Money Canvas for more practical money lessons without the pressure or hype. And tell us in the comments, would you rather lease a newer car every few years or buy one and keep it long after the loan is paid off? Thank you for watching.